Hello, dear friends.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi. Today we will be escaping from prison in Roblox in the Mode Berries prison run. But before the escape begins, we wanted to ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment on which map Joe should play next.
Yes, this really helps Joe. When you engage with the video, it becomes easier for Joe to complete the modes. Let's help him out.
Again with the vents. I hate them. Just let me know who the person is that installs them, and I'll fry them like a firecracker and blow them up.
Anger, calm down. We've already gotten out of it.
I think we should jump on those blocks to move forward.
Joe, don't look down. I'm really scared. Be careful when jumping on these blocks. If you fall, you'll land on the spikes.
It's so cold here, probably because of those large fans blowing in this direction.
Yes, I agree with you. It's very cold here.
I don't know. I actually feel quite warm.
Wow, these grates don't look very sturdy. Maybe we should look for another way?
No, there's no other way. We have to go through these grates. Joe, be careful when you jump on them.
I think we should break this grate with that key. Joe, take this key and break this grate.
It seems to me like this vent is connected to the bathroom, or why does it smell so bad here? I really dislike this odor.
Disgust, I think you're mistaken. I hear some screams. I think there's danger ahead. Joe, be careful.
Anxiety, you were right. There's a guard there. Joe, you need to be very fast to avoid getting caught by him.
Joe, run away from him quickly. If he catches you, he'll send you back behind bars. I don't think this pipe is meant for walking on.
Don't worry, Joe isn't heavy. He won't be able to break this pipe. Many people have walked and even jumped on it before Joe. As you can see, it's not broken.
Oh no, we forgot to press that red button to open that grate. We need to go down and press it. Joe, be careful not to get caught by the guard. It'll be really bad if you do.
Don't worry about him. He's very, very fat. I think he eats planets for breakfast. He'll never catch you. Even if you walk, he won't catch you. I don't know how they hire such fat guards. He can't catch anyone. Ha ha ha, don't be angry, guard. If you lose weight, you'll be able to catch everyone.
Stop insulting the guard already. It might hurt his feelings. Just run away from him. I even feel sorry for him.
Ah, these damn vents again. How much longer?
I was right after all. It is connected to the bathroom. Ew, it smells so bad here.
Yes, you were right. I really don't like this smell. It's just unbearable.
I completely agree with you. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible.
Here is the source of the smell. Don't pay attention to it, Joe. You need to take that shovel and start digging. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
It seems like a good time for stories. Oh, what a wonderful day it was when Joe decided to cook for the whole family. The kitchen was filled with excitement and anticipation. I could feel the joy bubbling up inside as we gathered ingredients and prepared to create something delicious.
Ugh, cooking again? Why does Joe always have to make such a mess? The chaos in the kitchen was infuriating. Spices scattered everywhere, pots clanging loudly. But I kept my cool, trying not to let my anger boil over.
The smells. Oh, the smells! As soon as Joe started chopping onions, my stomach turned. The pungent aroma filled the air, making me want to gag. Why couldn't Joe choose something less aromatic?
Oh dear, what if Joe burns the food again? I couldn't help but worry as I watched him handle the hot stove. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every step, hoping we wouldn't end up with another kitchen disaster.
Despite the initial chaos and doubts, Joe's determination and our teamwork prevailed. We all pitched in, each of us playing our part to make sure everything turned out just right. The aroma of a well-cooked meal filled the kitchen, bringing smiles to everyone's faces.
Surprisingly, the food actually tasted good. Maybe Joe isn't so bad in the kitchen after all. I grudgingly admit that all the effort was worth it in the end.
I must admit, despite my initial aversion to the smells, the final dish looked quite appetizing. I cautiously tried a bite and was pleasantly surprised. It was delicious. Perhaps cooking isn't as bad as I thought.
Whew, everything turned out okay. I can relax now. Watching Joe cook was nerve-wracking, but I'm glad we were able to help him and enjoy a meal together as a family.
Now we will tell a story about how Joe learned to swim. Oh, what an exciting day it was when Joe decided to learn how to swim. The sun was shining brightly, and the pool shimmered invitingly. I could feel the anticipation and enthusiasm building up as we gathered by the water's edge.
Why does Joe have to do this now? The water is cold, and I hate getting wet. The thought of dealing with all this splashing and chaos is infuriating. But I tried to keep calm and not let my frustration show.
Oh no, what if Joe sinks or gets hurt? My heart raced with worry as I watched him hesitate at the edge of the pool. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every possible scenario, fearing the worst.
The water. It's so gross. I can't stand the feeling of it on my skin, and the thought of all those germs floating around makes me shudder. Why did Joe have to choose swimming of all things?
Despite my initial concerns, Joe showed determination and courage. With our encouragement, he took small steps into the water, and I could feel his excitement growing with each stroke.
Oh, more splashing. Why does learning to swim have to be so messy? I grumbled inwardly, but begrudgingly admitted that Joe was making progress, even if it was annoying.
I held my breath as Joe practiced floating and kicking. Every little splash made me jump with anxiety, but I was relieved to see him improving under our watchful eyes.
The chlorine smell? It's overwhelming. I tried to stay back as much as possible, but I couldn't avoid the sensation of being surrounded by water. At least Joe seemed to be getting the hang of it, despite my discomfort.
Now, I'll tell you a story about how Joe flew on a plane for the first time.
Oh, it's so exciting! I can't believe the feelings Joe is experiencing right now. I'm just overflowing with joy seeing him here in the airplane. His heart is racing as we take off, his eyes shining with delight. He dreamed of flying for so long, and now, finally, his dream is coming true. I feel his emotions filling every cell of his body. How he enjoys the views outside the window. How he smiles at every flight attendant and seatmate. It's wonderful to be a part of this moment of joy.
This airplane is absolutely dreadful. How can anyone sit comfortably in this cramped space? Why is everyone so slow and inattentive? These flight attendants are just useless. Why couldn't we choose a more comfortable flight? I'm seething with anger every time I see how we're being served. This is simply unacceptable. Joe, why aren't you showing more initiative? Why are you satisfied with this service? This flight isn't even worth our time and money.
What if something goes wrong? I'm nervous beyond belief. All these sounds, movements, vibrations. I can't stop thinking about potential issues. Flying on a plane is so dangerous. What if we have an accident? What if something happens to the engine? Joe doesn't realize all these risks. He's just enjoying the flight. But I fear for him. I feel his fear overwhelming me. His anxiety makes me worry and suffer. Every minute of this flight is a test for our nerves.
How can anyone stand being here? It's just a nightmare. This smell, these sounds, this cramped space. I just can't. I feel disgust washing over me with every breath Joe takes. How can he not feel this horrible atmosphere? It's all so dirty, so unpleasant. I just want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Joe, why can't you hear my cry of disgust? Why don't you understand that this place is simply hell on earth? The next story is about how Joe entered a new class and got to know his new classmates.
It was so exciting. When Joe entered the new class, I couldn't help but rejoice with him. His face lit up with a smile as he greeted his new classmates. He was so open and friendly. He quickly found common ground with the kids in the class, started talking to them, and showing interest in their hobbies. It was wonderful to see him blossom in this new environment, his eyes shining with joy from making new friends. We tried to support him, encourage him, and help him overcome any shyness. Each of his successes brought me immense joy.
I am just furious about this situation. Joe in a new class and his classmates, they are just unpleasant. Why aren't they showing more kindness towards him? Why aren't they making more effort to get to know him better? I am angry at how they are treating him. It's unacceptable. I quickly grew angry seeing how they ignore his attempts to befriend them. Joe deserves better. Why isn't he standing up for himself more? I'm ready to explode with anger if he continues to endure this.
I was terrified when Joe walked into that class. New people, new surroundings. How would he cope? What if they didn't accept him? We agonized over every word he said, every step he took. He looked so tense trying to start a conversation with his classmates. And what if they didn't understand his feelings and intentions? I felt his anxiety, how it overwhelmed him every minute. We tried to give him cues, support him, but every uncertain look he gave to those mocking faces intensified my fears. It was such a nerve-wracking experience.
I feel disgust overwhelming me as Joe tries to interact with these people. They are so unpleasant and hypocritical. How can he stand being in the same class with such awful people? I can't stand their appearance, their voices, their mannerisms. And every time Joe tries to engage in a conversation, I want to close my eyes and escape from here. This atmosphere fills me with disgust, and I hope Joe soon realizes what terrible people surround him.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Bye, everyone! Hello, dear friends. Welcome to our new exciting adventure. Today is going to be especially unusual because we're diving into a brand new and incredibly thrilling mode. Emotions Police Family Prison Run Escape. Just imagine, we're going to be running away from ourselves. Well, not exactly us, but our evil copies. Imagine what it's like to run from a version of me that's all gloomy and dark, or from anxiety who's 10 times more nervous than usual. It's going to be a real race for survival, but with your support, I'm sure we'll make it. So, get ready for a true emotional roller coaster. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single moment.
Oh, no. I'm already getting worried, Joy. Evil copies of ourselves? That's a real nightmare. What if they're faster than us? Stronger? What if they catch us? I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But I know that if we stick together and stay focused, we can do it. And your support is so important to us. So please stay with us, cheer us on, and cross your fingers for us. We're going to need all your positive vibes and good wishes.
Anxiety, I get it. It's totally spooky to think about our darker sides chasing us down. But hey, we've faced tough challenges before, and always found a way out, right? I mean, remember that time we escaped from that creepy haunted house? Or when we navigated through the maze of nightmares? This is just another wild ride. We're not just running away, we're running toward victory, with a dash of laughter and a whole lot of fun. And to all our amazing viewers out there, we need you on this journey with us. Keep your spirits high and your hearts full of courage. Together, we can conquer anything.
Oh, no. I'm already getting worried, Joy. Evil copies of ourselves? That's a real nightmare. What if they're faster than us? Stronger? What if they catch us? I'm getting chills just thinking about it. But I know that if we stick together and stay focused, we can do it. And your support is so important to us. So please stay with us, cheer us on, and cross your fingers for us. We're going to need all your positive vibes and good wishes.
Exactly, anxiety. And who knows, maybe by the end of this, we'll not only escape but come out stronger, knowing that even our darkest sides can't bring us down. So, gear up, everyone. It's going to be a fast-paced, heart-pounding adventure. Let's turn this prison run into a victory lap, and don't forget to hit that like button to give us that extra boost we need. Storytime, friends. Today, I'm going to tell you about our incredible adventure when we found ourselves inside the mind of a boy named Tom. Tom was no ordinary kid. Kind, thoughtful, but sadly, terribly unsure of himself. Imagine what it's like to constantly doubt every decision you make, to be afraid to take the first step because you fear making a mistake. Tom lived with that every single day. And one day, when we all suddenly moved from Tim's head into this new, completely unfamiliar one, we realized our task was to help this boy find himself, overcome his fears, and learn to believe in himself. It was a real challenge, but you know us. We're always ready for anything.
Oh, I remember how it was. We appeared in Tom's head at the worst possible moment. He was standing in front of the mirror, looking at his reflection and getting ready for an important presentation at school. Inside, his fears and doubts were swirling, and he was afraid of every word he was supposed to say. What if he forgot the text? What if his classmates started laughing? These questions flooded his mind, and you know what? I was completely shocked. I could feel how his anxiety was overwhelming me. I was terrified of doing something wrong that would only make things worse. But I knew that if I didn't do anything, the situation would spiral out of control, and Tom would just freeze in front of everyone.
Anxiety, you really made things worse back then. Tom was on the verge of a breakdown, and at that moment, I realized I couldn't just stand by. No way, that wasn't going to happen. I hate it when someone, even if it's Tom, lets their fears control them. I was burning with frustration. I felt the fire inside me ignite, and I decided to act. Tom needed to feel that fire, to sense the strength that could help him overcome any obstacle. I fueled his determination, made him feel like he could do anything, and no one would dare to doubt his abilities.
And I couldn't stand by when I noticed that Tom started worrying about how he looked. At first, it was just concern that his clothes weren't stylish enough, then that his hair was out of place, and then he started thinking his appearance would make others laugh at him. It drove me crazy! How could he be so focused on such trivial things? Tom needed to understand that it's not his appearance that defines his worth, but what's inside him. And I started quietly whispering to him that he needed to rise above these superficial things, that what really matters is what's in his heart and mind. It helped him relax and focus on more important things.
Once we all came together, the situation began to change. We worked together like a well-oiled machine, guiding Tom toward his goal. I reminded him of all his past successes, of the times when he overcame difficulties, and when his friends and family supported him. These memories were like a powerful surge of energy that filled Tom with joy and confidence. I saw his face light up with a smile, and a sparkle appear in his eyes. It was amazing.
And I finally decided to use my power not for harm, but for good. Instead of sowing panic, I began helping Tom to be more attentive to details. I nudged him to focus on the text, on pronouncing the words correctly, on his tone. This helped him avoid mistakes and prepare as best as he could. I had to overcome my own fears, but I knew I was doing it for his benefit.
When the moment of truth came, and Tom walked onto that stage, I knew that all our hard work had paid off. He walked with such confidence that all his fears just disappeared. I made him feel the power within himself. I gave him the determination he needed, and he performed like a true hero. No one in the audience dared to doubt his abilities. All his doubts and fears were conquered, and he got a taste of victory.
And of course, I made sure that Tom looked his best. Before the presentation, he adjusted his tie, smoothed his hair. He felt confident, and it showed. While his appearance didn't define him completely, the confidence he drew from looking his best gave him an extra boost. It was a crucial moment, and I was proud to have helped him with that.
When the presentation ended and the room erupted in applause, we all felt an incredible sense of relief and joy inside Tom. This was our collective success, our victory. Not only did Tom successfully accomplish his task, but he also found the confidence that will support him throughout his life. And for us, it was yet another proof that when we work together, we can overcome any obstacle. We can help anyone if we act as one.
And I finally decided to use my power not for harm, but for good. Instead of sowing panic, I began helping Tom to be more attentive to details. I nudged him to focus on the text, on pronouncing the words correctly, on his tone. This helped him avoid mistakes and prepare as best as he could. I had to overcome my own fears, but I knew I was doing it for his benefit.
And I learned that even anger can be a driving force if used wisely. We helped Tom become stronger, and that was our shared achievement.
I understood that self-confidence begins with inner harmony. We helped Tom find that harmony, and now he can walk through life with confidence, knowing that his worth isn't defined by his appearance, but by who he truly is.
That's how our story with Tom ended. We helped him, and he showed us how important it is to be there for those who need support. And you know what? This was one of our best missions. We proved to ourselves and to Tom that together we can do anything. And now we're ready for new adventures. It's time for a new story. Let's travel to a small town where a boy named Max lived. Max loved adventures, but he had one problem. He was very afraid of the dark. Every night when darkness fell, Max would hide under his blanket and try to fall asleep as quickly as possible. But one evening, in an especially dark night, Max heard a soft whisper outside his window. It was his old friend, a firefly, who had come to him with a very important mission. "Max," said the firefly, "the darkness isn't as scary as you think. There are many wonders in the dark that can only be seen at night. Come with me, and I'll show you the world in a new light." Max was a little scared at first, but then he remembered that he always wanted to know what was hidden in the night's darkness. He put on his jacket and followed the firefly. Together they went through the forest, where the trees looked magical in the moonlight, saw glowing flowers, and met other nocturnal creatures. From that night on, Max was no longer afraid of the dark because he understood that it, too, could be beautiful and amazing.
Guys, thanks for watching our story. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like it, and click on the bell so that you don't miss new videos. And also, write in the comments what story you want to hear next. See you in the next issues.
Hi, friends. We're so happy to see you again. Today, we have a truly unusual adventure. Tim is about to tackle a creepy mode called Scary Doll Curse. Just think about it. Dolls and curses, this is something new. I hope we can avoid all the traps and solve all the mysteries.
Hi, everyone! Oh, guys, I'm already nervous. This mode sounds really scary. Dolls can be so creepy, especially when it comes to curses. I just can't shake the feeling that something might go wrong. But if you all support Tim, I'm sure he'll make it through, despite all my fears.
Hey everyone, are you ready for a real challenge? I've heard that this mode is one of the hardest and scariest, but Tim is no coward. If any doll tries to scare him, we'll show it who's boss. Nobody will stop us on our way to victory.
Hello, dear viewers. Just think about it. Dolls, and they could be dirty, dusty, and who knows what else. I really hope it's not as awful as it sounds. But knowing how these modes can be, I can only hope for the best and for your support, guys. Please, keep your fingers crossed for Tim so he doesn't have to deal with anything truly gross.
I'm already so excited. What an exciting adventure awaits us, solving the mystery of the cursed dolls. I'm sure that with your support, Tim will find a way to overcome all the dangers and puzzles. This is going to be thrilling, and I'm so glad you're with us.
It's important to remember that this mode might have some unexpected twists. But with you guys and Tim leading the way, I hope we can avoid all the traps. Everything will be okay, right? We just need to be careful and cautious.
So are you ready to show these dolls who's boss? Don't be afraid of them. They're not that scary. If we need to, we'll deal with them the best we can. The main thing is not to give up and to go all the way, no matter how scary it gets.
And please, let's hope there's nothing truly disgusting. I can't stand those dirty old dolls, especially if they're covered in cobwebs or worse. But for you and Tim, I'm willing to endure it. The most important thing is for him to get through this challenge.
Wow, Tim, look! We're in some sort of lava room, and there's a portal ahead. To open it, we need to find 3 green orbs and place them in those special slots. This is going to be a real challenge, but I'm sure you can do it.
Oh, Tim, be very careful. Lava is everywhere, and you need to be extremely cautious. One wrong move, and I don't even want to think about it. Just don't rush, hold the orbs tightly, and watch every step.
Enough worrying. Let's just grab those orbs and open the portal. You don't want to stay here longer than necessary, right? Come on, Tim. Collect them all and get that portal open. You can do it. Just don't waste time.
Ugh, those orbs look like they've been pulled right out of the lava. But Tim, you'll have to deal with it. Grab them carefully and place them in the slots quickly so we can get out of here. I really hope we don't have to deal with anything even more disgusting after this.
And the next story will be about the day when Tim decided to enter his first skateboarding competition. Oh, you should have seen how exciting it was. Tim had been preparing for this moment for months. Every day after school, he would go out into the yard and practice no matter the weather or how tired he was. And finally, the day arrived when he was supposed to show everyone what he had achieved. I remember him putting on his favorite cap and grabbing his skateboard with such a determined look on his face. We were all so excited. I could see his eyes shining as if they were reflecting the sun, and that filled us with confidence. We knew Tim could handle whatever came his way.
Yeah, but as soon as we got to the competition site, I started getting irritated. Those other skateboarders, all so cocky and smug, standing around bragging about their tricks as if they thought rookies like Tim didn't stand a chance. They were talking about their complex moves, and honestly, it really got on my nerves. I was so furious inside, I felt like walking right up to them and telling them exactly what I thought. But Tim kept his cool. He just stood there, watching the course intently, like he wanted to memorize every detail. He didn't pay attention to their chatter and just focused on why he was there.
Oh, I was so scared. Those ramps, the height, the speed, it all seemed so dangerous. I just couldn't calm down. I remember thinking, what if he doesn't make it? What if he falls? What if the other skateboarders knock him down? My hands were literally shaking when Tim started skating. Even when he was doing simple tricks, my heart was pounding so loud, it felt like everyone around could hear it. But still, despite my fears, I knew Tim was giving it his all, and that gave me a little strength. I kept reminding myself that he had practiced a lot and was ready for this.
And I was so worried about all the dirt on the course. It was just horrible. There were spilled drinks, dirty rags lying around, and one of the skateboarders even fell into a puddle. I kept watching to make sure Tim didn't accidentally step in the dirt or get dirty. You know, it's important to not only skate well at a competition, but also to look good. Cleanliness and order are always important, especially when you're in the spotlight.
But how happy I was when Tim finally hit the course. He started off slow but steady, checking out every turn and ramp. And when he performed his first trick, an ollie, we all held our breath in anticipation. And then, he nailed it. The crowd erupted in applause, and I could barely contain myself from screaming with joy. It was his moment, and he nailed it. I'll remember that moment forever. Tim proved to himself and everyone else that he's a real athlete, despite all the obstacles.
And those who laughed at him at the beginning quickly went silent. They realized that they shouldn't underestimate Tim. I was so proud of him. He showed that actions speak louder than words, and now everyone knows that Tim is no joke.
And you know, I even calmed down a bit. Tim showed that he can handle challenges, and that gave me a little more confidence in the future. But still, every time he gets ready for a new competition, I'll be worried. After all, it's my job to look out for his safety.
In the end, Tim took second place, and it was just amazing. This was his first competition, and such a success is an incredible achievement. We all experienced this day together, and I'm sure Tim has many more victories ahead. So don't be afraid to dream and work hard, and you'll definitely achieve your goals. The next story is about how Tim went to space and saved the Earth from meteors, and how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust helped him in this adventure.
It all started when Tim received an incredible offer to become an astronaut and go to space to prevent meteors from hitting Earth. We, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust were in his head, and each of us played our role in this amazing journey. From the very beginning, Tim was ready for anything. In space, he had to face many challenges, and I was there to remind him of the importance of being decisive and not fearing difficulties. Each obstacle made him feel anger, but it helped him act quickly and resolutely.
While anger was pushing Tim to act, my job was to support him in moments of fear and uncertainty. Space is a vast and unknown place, and even the most experienced astronauts feel anxiety about the unknown. I reminded Tim of the importance of staying calm and planning every action carefully.
And I was the one who helped Tim deal with unpleasant situations. Space is full of unexpected and sometimes unpleasant situations, and I tried to help him not to be distracted by them. Tim needed to stay focused, despite any unpleasantness that might arise.
When Tim finally arrived in space, he was amazed by the beauty of the stars and planets. I was proud to help him see and appreciate this splendor. We enjoyed the moment and were inspired, which gave him strength and confidence.
But as soon as the first meteors appeared, my role became critical. These huge rocks were heading towards Earth, and I had to support Tim in his determination to deflect them. His anger and resolve were necessary to handle such threats.
Each time the meteors approached, my anxiety increased. I worried about Tim making mistakes at such a critical moment. But I also tried to support him morally, reminding him that every step required caution and precision.
While Tim was fighting the meteors, I helped him maintain his focus despite all the unpleasantness. In space, there are sometimes pollutants and other unpleasant things that could distract him. I helped him stay concentrated on the main task.
And so, after a tense battle, Tim successfully deflected the last meteors and saved Earth from disaster. We were all immensely happy that he managed the task and returned home as a hero. His courage and determination became an example for everyone.
Sometimes it's necessary to express anger and determination to overcome challenges. Tim showed that even in the most stressful moments, it's important to maintain resolve and act quickly.
And although anxiety can be a challenging feeling, it can help us be attentive and cautious. Tim learned to use it to carefully plan his actions and avoid mistakes.
Even unpleasant moments can be important if we know how to deal with them. Tim proved that you can overcome any difficulty by staying focused and not being distracted by negative aspects.
Well, that's the end of our thrilling escape from the evil doll in the scary doll curse mode. We hope you enjoyed this adventure as much as we did. We had a great time playing together.
Yeah, it was fun, but also pretty scary. That doll really gave us a hard time. We did our best to get through this mode, and I hope you enjoyed watching our attempts, but we're ready to do even more.
If you like this mode and want to see more exciting games, let us know. It's important for us to know what you want to see, so we can prepare something even more thrilling for you.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this adventure. Your comments and activity help us know what interests you and what you want to see next.
So, if you want a continuation or other interesting modes, write in the comments what you liked and what you'd like to see next. We're excited to work for you and create new entertaining moments. Goodbye for now. Thanks for joining us in this scary adventure. We'll see you in the next video. Hello, dear friends. We are happy to see you on our channel. Today, we have a lot of interesting and exciting things planned. We have prepared new stories, adventures, and funny moments for you. You won't want to miss this. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I hope you're ready for real challenges and adrenaline. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to comment. Your likes and subscriptions are really important to us. They help us create new stories and adventures, so don't hesitate to show your support.
We always try to make our stories interesting and thrilling, but sometimes it can be scary. We want you to know that your support means a lot to us. I hope you'll support us and help us overcome all the difficulties. Leave your comments and share your impressions. It helps us get better.
Yes, and don't forget to stay away from dirty and unpleasant situations like in our stories. We like it when things are clean and cozy, and we're sure you do too. Subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and leave comments so we know what you like and what you don't.
Today, we're going to play Roblox in the mode Barry's Prison Run. I heard it's scary, but I think it won't stop our boy Tim from easily getting through it.
Oh, I'm not sure it'll be that simple. There could be all kinds of traps, guards, and even creepy monsters. I'm so worried about Tim. What if he gets into some dangerous situation? We have to be very careful.
Stop panicking already. Tim has shown time and time again that he can handle any challenge. He's smart, strong, and always finds a way out of the toughest situations. Let's just support him and watch him deal with this prison.
I hope this prison isn't filthy and doesn't have any disgusting places. Can you imagine if there's something gross? That's just awful. Tim, please be careful and try not to touch anything nasty.
Everything will be fine, guys. Tim is our true hero, and we're going to support him every step of the way. Let's enjoy the game and believe in him. Tim, onward to new adventures. We're with you. Guys, look, we've entered a room full of lava. This is so exciting and dangerous at the same time. But I'm sure Tim can jump from platform to platform with no problems. He always handles these challenges so skillfully. The main thing is to believe in him and support him.
I don't know, guys. Lava is very scary. One wrong step and Tim could be in trouble. These platforms are so narrow and look so unstable. I'm really worried about him. He needs to be very careful and watch where he jumps. Maybe we should give him some tips on how to jump better?
Oh, stop panicking, anxiety. Tim will handle it. He's overcome obstacles like this before. He has the skills and strength to deal with this. The more we doubt, the more we hinder him. Let's just support him and show that we believe in his abilities. He'll do everything right, as always.
Time for stories. Today's story is about how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust used to be inside the mind of a scientist who was developing a cure for a very dangerous disease. Let's dive into the story from their perspectives. It was an exciting time when we were inside Dr. Wilson's mind. He was working so hard to find a cure for a disease that affected so many people. I was always encouraging him, filling him with optimism and hope. I remember when he first saw the results of his experiments and how his face lit up with joy. We were all thrilled to see him so happy.
Yes, there were moments of intense frustration too. Dr. Wilson had to face many setbacks and failures. I was there to drive him to push harder, to channel his frustration into determination. Whenever things didn't go as planned, I made sure he stayed focused and didn't give up. It was all about using that anger productively.
I had my own role to play too. There were times when Dr. Wilson felt overwhelmed by the pressure of finding a cure. I was there to remind him of the stakes, to keep him alert and cautious. My job was to make sure he didn't overlook any details and to help him stay on track, even when things seemed daunting.
And let's not forget the challenges that came with the process. There were many moments that tested Dr. Wilson's resolve. Sometimes the lab work was messy and the results were less than pleasant. I was there to help him push through those gross and uncomfortable situations, to keep the focus on the end goal despite the unpleasantness.
In the end, all of us, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust, played a crucial role in helping Dr. Wilson develop the cure. It wasn't easy, but together, we managed to turn the challenges into victories.
Indeed, the path was filled with obstacles, but our combined efforts led to success. We turned every setback into a stepping stone towards the cure.
And even though it was a tough journey, it was worth every moment. The cure was finally developed, and it saved many lives.
Yes, the process was often tough to handle, but the outcome was rewarding. We learned that even the most challenging situations can lead to something great.
And that's how we helped Dr. Wilson make a difference. We worked together to achieve something extraordinary. The next story is about how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust helped our friend Tim find the lost recipe for the city's most delicious pizza. It was so exciting. Tim lost his favorite pizza recipe, and we all came together to help him find it. I was thrilled with the idea because I knew that with our team, we could recover the recipe and throw an unforgettable pizza party. We started the search with enthusiasm and energy, knowing that together we could tackle any challenge.
However, finding the recipe wasn't easy. We searched every corner of the kitchen, checked all the drawers and shelves, but the recipe was nowhere to be found. I got frustrated when I noticed that things were scattered around. To speed up the process, I suggested that Tim and the rest of the team approach the search more decisively and not waste time on trivialities.
I was worried that we might run out of time, and Tim wouldn't be able to make the pizza in time for the important event. Every minute counted, and I was checking all possible places where the recipe might be. I made sure every step of the search was carefully planned, so we wouldn't miss any crucial details and could find the recipe on time.
The search was quite a challenge. We came across a lot of dirty kitchen utensils and remnants of old food. I helped the team deal with the unpleasant tasks and pointed out all the dirty and off-putting areas so they could focus on the search. Despite the mess, I tried to remain patient and supportive of the team.
Finally, after a long search, we found the recipe hidden in an old notebook on the top shelf of the cupboard. It was incredibly joyful. Tim was so happy that the recipe was found, and we were able to host a fantastic pizza party. We all enjoyed the delicious pizza together, and it was just wonderful. Thanks to our team, the evening turned out to be unforgettable. The next story is about how Tim had an unforgettable time at summer camp. Summer camp was so much fun. Tim arrived there with immense enthusiasm and immediately immersed himself in the atmosphere of relaxation and adventure. Every day was packed with amazing activities, sports games, crafting workshops, hiking in the forest, and even evening campfires with songs and stories. I was so happy to see Tim enjoying every moment and making new friends. I especially loved when Tim participated in the paintball competition and was thrilled with his victory.
But not everything was perfect. There were times when things didn't go as planned, and it was irritating. For example, one day there was an unexpected delay in preparing lunch, and Tim and his friends were upset. I saw them worrying about losing time for their activities and games. I had to step in and suggest organizing additional activities to help them make up for the lost time.
I was anxious when Tim went on a couple of days' hike. I knew such adventures could be unexpectedly challenging and even dangerous. Every morning I checked to make sure he was okay and how the activities were going. I constantly asked the counselors and reviewed lists to ensure Tim was safe and enjoying his time. My anxiety eased a bit when I saw him come back with a big smile and a backpack full of experiences.
There were also some unpleasant moments at camp. For instance, I couldn't ignore how dirty and damp the tents sometimes were, especially after rain. Tim and his friends tried to handle it, but I saw how they were unhappy with their sleeping arrangements. My role was to help deal with these situations by providing cleaning tips and organizing help from the counselors.
Despite the challenges, the summer camp left Tim with so many positive memories. He returned home with a lot of stories, new friends, and joy in his heart. This camp became a true adventure for him, and we were all thrilled to see him grow and develop during those few weeks. Moments like these are remembered for a lifetime. We're so glad you joined us for this adventure. We hope you enjoyed our stories and had as much fun as we did.
Yes, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important for us to keep you updated on all our new adventures. Also, please give us a thumbs up so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't delay. Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We worked hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yes, and don't forget to leave a comment. We want to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next. And please, no dirty comments. It's important to us.
Goodbye. Hi, friends. We're so glad you're with us today. We've got another exciting day ahead, and Tim is ready for the challenges. But there's something I want to share with you. Tim isn't feeling his best today. He's a bit under the weather. So, some of the challenges might not go smoothly on the first try, and he may need to give them a few attempts.
Yeah, that's right. And if anyone thinks about criticizing him, I'd advise against it. Tim always gives his all, even when he's not feeling great. But you know what? We're here to support him. So if he falls or makes a mistake, let's all cheer him on together.
I'm so worried about him. I hope you guys understand that Tim is doing his best, even though he's not in top form. It would really mean a lot if you could show him some love with likes and kind words in the comments. That will help him feel like he's not alone and that he has real friends among you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's show some patience and understanding. Things don't always go as planned, especially when you're not feeling well. So if you see Tim go off course or mess up, support him instead of judging. And don't forget to leave your like. He definitely deserves it today.
Thank you guys for being here with us and supporting Tim on this tough day. Your support really matters, and we know that with you, Tim will get through all the challenges no matter how tough they are. So let's get started. We're sure it'll be fun, even if everything isn't perfect. So guys, right now we're escaping from the evil grandma in Roblox in a mode called Escape Evil Grandma. This is going to be thrilling.
Evil grandma? Perfect. The tougher it is, the better. I'm sure she's filled her house with all kinds of traps. But Tim will get through them all.
Oh, I'm already scared. What if she suddenly pops out from around the corner or sets some terrible trap? Tim, be really careful. Who knows what might happen?
And why is everything in her house so old and dusty? Ugh, I hope we don't have to jump over dirty tables or crawl through some gross places. That would be just awful.
Wow, Tim's in an exciting room. These platforms look pretty fun. If he jumps like a superhero, he'll make it through.
This room is full of challenges, and Tim needs to be determined. The platforms might be slippery and the lava is really dangerous. He needs to stay focused and act quickly, or he won't make it to the end.
Time for stories. Today's story is about how Tim went fishing and caught a golden fish that grants 3 wishes. The day started like any other weekend for Tim. He decided to spend it by the picturesque lake where the water was clear and the air was fresh.
It was actually a great idea, but casting a line and waiting isn't always easy. We all know fishing can be tiring, and I was ready to get frustrated if Tim didn't catch any fish. But when he finally felt a tug, everything changed.
Yes, it was truly nerve-wracking. I was a bit anxious when he felt something unusual on the line. You never know what it might be, and Tim could have faced unexpected problems. I hope it's not something dangerous, I thought.
Thankfully, it all turned out fine. I was a little concerned it might be an unpleasant sight, but when I saw the golden fish, it was impressive. Wow, a golden fish. I hope it won't be too gross.
When Tim pulled out the golden fish, it spoke. Thank you for freeing me. I will grant you 3 wishes. Remember to choose wisely. Tim was thrilled and immediately started thinking about his wishes.
It's good he has a chance to use these wishes. I hope he doesn't waste them on trivial things. This is a great opportunity to do something really important.
Let's make sure he makes the right choices. This could impact his life and the lives of others. I hope he doesn't make a mistake.
Well, gold and magic aren't really my thing, but if it helps Tim, so be it. 3 wishes are a lot of opportunities.
Tim was overjoyed when he made his first wish. I want my friends to always be around, and for us to be able to spend time together. It was very touching.
That's a great first wish. Friends are important, and he made the right choice. Now let's see what he chooses next.
His next wish was, I want everyone around to be happy and healthy. That was also a wise decision that could make the world a better place.
Still, I hope this doesn't lead to any unpleasant consequences. Sometimes even good intentions can have unexpected side effects.
Finally, Tim said, I want everyone to have the chance to fulfill their dreams, just like I was able to fulfill mine. It was a magnificent final wish.
Wonderful. That was really well thought out. I hope everything comes true.
The golden fish nodded and said, Your wishes will be granted. Remember to care for others and be thankful for what you have.
Well, that's it. Let's hope everything goes well and doesn't cause any problems.
Thus, Tim had an amazing day fishing, and his wishes became reality. I hope you enjoyed this story.
It was truly exciting. I hope Tim learned a lesson and used his wishes wisely.
Yes, and I hope everything will go well for him in the future. It's important to remember your wishes and make the right decisions.
Well, at least we saw something unusual. I wonder what will happen next.
And the next story is about how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust found themselves in the mind of a transformer robot who saved Earth. Imagine this, a giant transformer robot as majestic as a skyscraper, with a mind that could process information faster than any computer. But even a robot like that has thoughts and emotions. And there we were, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust in his head. Our mission was to help him make decisions at the most critical moment when the fate of the entire Earth was hanging by a thread. I could feel that this was our chance. A chance to prove that even in the toughest situations, you can find joy and make the task exciting. I kept reminding him that it's important to believe in himself and his strength, that together we could overcome any challenges.
But things were far from as simple as Joy made them out to be. She saw the bright side of everything, but I could feel the tension and the need to act. The enemies were closing in, and every second of hesitation brought them closer to victory. I was boiling with anger and determination. I knew we couldn't waste time on doubts. We had to act, be decisive, and not let emotions get the better of us. Because if we showed any weakness, the enemies would strike without hesitation. I reminded the robot that the world is full of dangers, and if we weren't strong and ready for battle, we would be destroyed.
For me, this situation was a real nightmare. Unlike Anger, who saw everything in black and white, I understood how many dangers were lurking behind each step. My mind was full of worries and doubts. What if the robot made the wrong decision? I kept reminding him of the possible risks. Every time he was about to do something risky, I made him stop and think. I knew that if I didn't do this, the consequences could be catastrophic.
And as for me, I looked at all of this and thought that much of what was happening was, to put it mildly, unpleasant. Sure, the robot was strong and powerful, but sometimes it seemed to me that he lacked finesse in his actions. All those explosions, battles, and destruction. Rough, dirty, not my style. I often said to him, couldn't we do without that? Or, why does everything have to be so complicated? Of course, in a situation like this, my words didn't always resonate. But I kept pointing out all these little things because I knew they were important. Even in the fight to save the world, we shouldn't forget how we do it and what we leave behind.
Oh, I'm so excited that we can share this story with you. You wouldn't believe how brave and determined Tim was that day. We were all so proud of him. It all started when a terrible storm was heading towards our town. Dark clouds were hanging overhead, and people were hiding in their homes. But not Tim. He knew he had to do something. He couldn't just sit and wait for the disaster to strike. So, despite his fears and doubts, Tim decided to head to the dam to save the town.
Oh, I was so worried. I immediately envisioned all those dreadful scenarios. The storm, the water, The dam. My inner voice kept telling Tim, maybe you shouldn't go. It's too dangerous. But Tim was determined. He ran to the dam, and I couldn't calm down. My heart was racing, and my thoughts were all over the place. The safety of the whole town was at stake. But how could we be sure everything would turn out okay?
Ugh, and how displeased I was with that dirty, wet place where the dam was located. The water was already rising, and it was so slippery and gross. Tim had to wade through all that muck and grime to reach the valve. And that old valve, yuck! It was covered in rust, and turning it was simply revolting. I kept grumbling, Tim, this is horrible. Why do you need to do this? But he didn't listen to me, and of course, that was for the best. Thanks to his efforts, we were all saved.
Yeah, I was so angry. Why didn't the adults do anything? Why didn't anyone stop the storm earlier? And that valve, it was just not budging. I was fuming inside because we couldn't let the town be destroyed. Then Tim gathered all his strength. He gritted his teeth, tensed all his muscles, and finally turned that damn valve. The water started to recede, and it was amazing. But you know what? I was angry that he did it alone. Why didn't anyone help him? But in the end, Tim managed, and we won.
Well, friends, it's time for us to say goodbye. We've had an amazing time together, and we're so glad you joined us for this adventure.
I hope you enjoyed the story. And please, don't forget to come back. We'll be waiting for you with more exciting tales.
Until next time, everyone, stay happy and keep smiling. Hi, friends. We're so happy to see you back on our channel. Today is a very special day because Tim is going to tackle a new map in Roblox called Obby, but you're in Bike. Can you imagine? Tim will be riding a bike and overcoming various obstacles. This will be an incredibly exciting adventure, full of unexpected twists and cool tricks. I can't wait to see how Tim handles all the challenges. Are you ready? I definitely am.
Yeah, today there will be a lot of action and tough challenges. I can already feel the tension building up. These obstacles can be really tough, but I'm sure Tim will get through all the difficulties and show everyone what he's capable of. Let's see how he handles each challenge along the way.
Oh, I'm already getting nervous just thinking about these obstacles. But don't worry, we'll be right there with Tim every step of the way, supporting him and helping him overcome all the difficulties. I hope everything goes smoothly and without any incidents. The most important thing is for Tim to be careful and remember safety first.
Honestly, I'm a bit skeptical. These bikes and obstacles can be dirty and unpleasant, but I still believe Tim will overcome all the challenges and show everyone how to do it stylishly and neatly. Let's cheer him on and see how he handles this test.
So, let's start our adventure. Today we'll be riding bikes and overcoming obstacles in Obby, but you're in Bike. It's going to be fun and exciting. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and leave your comments. Let's go.
Don't judge Tim too harshly. He just recently started riding a bike, and he might fall. Let's support him when he falls. Support will definitely help him right now.
As you may have noticed, Tim is wearing black clothes today. This is protective gear, which helps our boy Tim avoid injuries when he falls. It protects him and, to some extent, gives Tim a rugged look.
Write in the comments if you like this map format. It's very important for us to know your opinion.
Story time. Today's story is about how Tim learned to ride a bike. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to share this amazing story with you. It was truly a joyful and thrilling week for Tim. It all started when he got his first bike. You should have seen his face when he unpacked it. Tim's eyes sparkled with happiness, and he was eager to try it out right away. The first day was full of fun. Tim rode around the yard, and every successful attempt felt like a little celebration. Do you remember when he first managed to ride a few meters without falling? His smile was so wide it seemed like it could light up the whole street. Every time he overcame a small challenge, he danced with joy and pride. Even when he fell, he got up with a genuine smile on his face, because he knew another success was just around the corner. For me, it was a real celebration watching Tim overcome obstacles with such positivity.
Well, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I must admit, watching Tim's first biking experiences was a real test for me. The first few attempts were full of anger and frustration. Each fall and failure made him flare up with irritation. He got mad when he couldn't keep his balance or when he crashed into bushes. It was hard for me to watch him struggle with his anger and frustration. Even when he couldn't immediately master the maneuvers, he still didn't give up. His anger and determination to improve helped him persevere, and that wasn't so bad after all. But every time he fell, I could feel my anger rising.
Oh, it was a real test for my anxiety. Every time Tim got on the bike, I literally trembled with worry. I was afraid he'd fall and get hurt, especially when he tried to ride over uneven terrain or perform tricky maneuvers. You should have seen how nervous he was when he stumbled or crashed into obstacles. I worried about every fall and every collision. Inside, I was shaking with fear that he wouldn't be able to handle it. But despite all this anxiety and worry, Tim kept moving forward. He learned to cope with his fears, and that was incredibly important for his success.
Honestly, I wasn't too thrilled about the process. Imagine how awful it was to see Tim coming home in dirty and muddy clothes after riding. Every time he fell into a puddle or mud, I just shuddered with disgust. The unpleasant sounds he made when getting up and his dirty hands after falls. It was all just revolting. But despite all these unpleasant moments, Tim continued to learn and move forward. His determination and willingness to keep going despite all this deserve respect. So despite all the difficulties and challenges, Tim managed to learn to ride a bike and now feels confident and happy. Each of us experienced our own emotions during this process, and that's what made his learning experience so special.
And the next story will be about how Tim learned to ride a skateboard. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to tell you about how Tim learned to ride a skateboard. It was incredibly fun. Tim was so excited to get started. When he first got on the skateboard, his face lit up with joy. He couldn't wait to try skating around the park. Every time he successfully completed a trick or mastered a new move, his eyes sparkled with happiness. He was so thrilled with every little success, and I couldn't help but be excited with him.
Ugh, it wasn't easy. When Tim was just starting out, he often got frustrated and angry when things didn't go right. I felt my anger rise whenever he fell and his skateboard got damaged. It was infuriating when he couldn't pull off a trick that he had done before. His anger and frustration from falling sometimes made him forget about safety, which caused even more problems. But all these challenges made him stronger and more determined.
Oh, it was a real stress fest. I was constantly worried about Tim while he was skateboarding. Every jump and trick attempt gave me real anxiety. I was afraid he would fall and get hurt. It was especially scary when he attempted complex tricks at heights or on slippery surfaces. Every time he fell, my anxiety reached its peak. But as he got better at managing his skateboard, my anxiety calmed down a bit.
Ugh, I can't say I enjoyed this. There were moments when Tim would fall, and the dirty skateboard wheels would leave marks on his clothes and on the ground. It was unpleasant to see him come home in dirty clothes with bruises and scrapes. Sometimes he would forget about hygiene, and I had to see him eat with dirty hands or not clean his skateboard after riding. Although I tried to look away from these moments, Tim eventually learned to be more careful and take better care of himself and his equipment.
The next story is about how Tim learned to play the drums. I'm so excited to tell you about Tim learning to play the drums. It was truly magical. When he first sat down at the drums, his eyes lit up with excitement. The first few days were full of enthusiasm. He tried out different rhythms, mixed sounds, and even created his own combinations. Every time he got something right, his face lit up with a big smile. I remember how proud he was when he managed to play his favorite song. His joy was so contagious that even I felt excited. Every little success felt like a celebration, and seeing him so happy was incredibly delightful.
Well, I was also there for the lessons, and I have to admit it wasn't as easy as it might seem. Sometimes Tim turned into a real monster of anger when things didn't go right on the first try, especially when he was trying to master complex rhythms or change speeds. I saw his patience wearing thin and how he began to get angry at himself or the drums. There were many times when he couldn't keep his cool and would throw his drumsticks. It was tough to watch, and I couldn't help but get irritated. But that anger, though unpleasant, helped him face challenges and push through. You see, it was because of these difficult moments that he became stronger and better.
When Tim started his lessons, I just couldn't relax. I was constantly worried he might make a mistake, especially when he was trying out complex rhythms or when the drums were making loud noises. Every missed beat or wrong hit triggered real panic in me. I was anxious that he might overexert himself and worried that the loud sounds might disturb the neighbors. It was especially nerve-wracking when he practiced late at night. I tried to manage my fears and anxieties, and with each time he became more confident, I felt my anxiety gradually fading away.
Honestly, I wasn't thrilled about the process. When Tim was practicing hard, he was sweating, and his hands left marks on the drums. All that sweat and grime sometimes made me feel genuinely disgusted. I was unpleasantly surprised to see that he sometimes forgot to clean his drums after playing. This led to the drums becoming sticky and dirty, and the surrounding area wasn't in the best shape either. I felt a real discomfort from all this mess. Fortunately, over time, Tim started taking better care of his setup and keeping things in order, which made everything a little less disgusting. So, the journey of learning to play the drums was not only challenging, but also full of different emotions. Each feeling, whether it was joy, anger, anxiety, or disgust, played its role in this exciting process, and together, they made his learning experience truly unique.
We had so much fun today sharing stories and experiencing all the emotions with Tim. We hope you enjoyed it too. If you liked our stories and want to hear more, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next adventures. I hate it when people forget about that. Tim worked hard, and your support means a lot.
Oh, I hope everything went well and nobody forgot to subscribe. I was a bit anxious that something might go wrong. Your likes and subscriptions help us know you want more, and that makes us really happy.
And also, please leave comments. We need to know what you like and what you don't. No junk in the comments, please. We're doing our best to make everything interesting and enjoyable for you.
Thank you for being with us. See you soon, and remember, always stay cheerful and active.
Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you in the next video.
Take care and don't forget to check out our channel.
Goodbye. We hope we didn't leave you with any unpleasant feelings.
Bye-bye and see you next time. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited that you're with us again. Today, we're in for something truly creepy, but that only makes it more thrilling. We're going to play a mode called Escape Evil Dog House. Imagine a house full of dark corridors, strange noises, and maybe even an evil dog chasing us at every turn. We have to find a way out, and we'll need all our courage and wits to do it.
Oh, this house. The more I think about it, the more anxious I get. What if we can't find the exit? And what if there's something even scarier inside than we can imagine? I'm already uneasy just thinking about the name, Evil Dog House. Anything could be in there. Every time you hit the subscribe button and like, it helps calm me down a bit because I know you're with us and supporting us through this tough challenge.
Yes, guys, your support is really important to us. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, make sure you do it right now. Smash that like button if you enjoy watching us face these scary challenges, and don't forget to click the bell so you can be the first to know when we upload new videos. And you know what? Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about today's mode, and let us know if you have ideas for other games we should play next. We always love reading your thoughts and suggestions.
And please don't forget about the bell. I'm always worried that someone might miss our videos, especially ones as intense as today's. Your subscriptions and likes give me confidence that we're not alone in this creepy house, that you're with us, and that helps me deal with the fear. Well, I guess it's time to start. I just hope we can make it out of there safe and sound.
Ugh, this place is absolutely revolting. I mean, just look at these walls. They're covered in grime, and I swear I saw something slimy moving in the corner over there. And the smell. It's unbearable. It's like a mix of wet dog, moldy food, and something sour. I can barely stand to be in here, let alone think about how we're supposed to escape. And don't even get me started on the thought of touching anything in this house. Every door handle, every step, every inch of this place is probably covered in germs and filth. The very idea of brushing up against something in here makes my skin crawl. How are we supposed to find a way out when every surface is so disgusting? I'm almost more afraid of getting covered in dirt and grime than I am of that so-called evil dog that's supposed to be lurking around. And speaking of that dog, I shudder to think about what it might look like. I mean, if this house is any indication, it's probably just as filthy, drooling, and covered in who knows what. Ugh, This is going to be one long, nauseating escape, and I'm not looking forward to getting any closer to whatever that dog is. We need to find a way out of here, and fast, before I lose it completely in this repulsive place.
Story time. Story will be about how Tim found a stray dog and brought it home. Oh, what a wonderful day. Tim found this adorable puppy on the street, and he looked so sad and lost. You can't imagine how my heart fluttered with joy when Tim decided to bring him home. Those big, curious eyes of the puppy just made me smile. I felt my heart overflowing with happiness as Tim embraced him, and the puppy shivered with excitement and hope. I could already imagine how we would play together, how Tim would train him, and how they would spend time outside. It was so touching. The puppy was full of energy and joy, and I was sure he would bring a lot of happiness into our home. We'd have games, training sessions, and of course, a lot of time spent together. It would be just perfect.
I have to admit, despite all the joy, I was tormented by doubts and fears. I kept worrying that this could be dangerous. The puppy could not only be dirty, but also carry some diseases. What if he had health issues that could spread to others? Or if he started behaving aggressively? We needed to prepare as well as we could. We might face unforeseen problems, such as allergies to fur or the need for frequent vet visits. And how would we explain to Tim's parents that we now had another pet? These questions kept nagging at me. I was adamant about the need for health checks for the puppy and ensuring he had all his vaccinations. After all, our health and safety come first.
When I saw anxiety starting to panic, I just blew up. How much worrying can we do? We need to look at the situation with optimism and energy. This puppy needs our help and love, not endless fears and doubts. Yes, I understand that there could be problems, but shouldn't we give this little guy a chance? We can and should handle any difficulties. I was ready to stand up for our new friend and show that we could manage. Training, discipline, care, these all require effort, but that's no reason to worry. We are up to the task. I made sure the puppy was well behaved, that he wasn't misbehaving, and that he wasn't creating problems. In the end, we can handle any situation if we work together.
Okay, I admit that my initial reaction wasn't the best. This puppy was in terrible shape, and I couldn't stand looking at his dirty fur and the awful smell. It was revolting when I saw him climbing onto the sofa and leaving dirt everywhere. But, to be honest, I softened a bit when I saw Tim and Joy starting to clean him up. Oh, I immediately told them we needed to wash and disinfect everything thoroughly to get rid of all the dirt. Now that the puppy is clean and tidy, I started to see him differently. Still, I keep a close eye on cleanliness to ensure he doesn't leave fur all over the house or dirty our belongings. But, to be honest, I've gotten used to his presence and even found him cute when he happily runs around.
Now that the puppy has become a part of our lives, we helped Tim adapt to the new responsibilities. Joy was over the moon watching Tim and the puppy play in the park, how they learned new commands together and simply enjoyed the time spent together. Anger relentlessly ensured that the puppy learned all the necessary lessons and became more disciplined. Disgust, though trying to be tolerant, still checked to make sure the house was always clean and tidy. And anxiety was still worried, but increasingly calmed down as she saw the puppy growing and becoming part of the family. We all helped Tim handle the new challenge and adapt to life with a new pet, and it was a whole adventure full of joy, care, and trials. Here's a long story about Tim helping stray animals, written from the perspectives of joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust. Let's dive into a heartwarming story about Tim, who showed immense kindness to stray animals. It all began on a chilly autumn day when Tim stumbled upon a group of hungry stray animals huddled together in a park. As he approached them, he noticed their sad, hungry eyes. With a bright smile, Tim immediately decided to help. He went home and gathered all the leftover food he could find, along with some water. Returning to the park, Tim set up a little feeding station, carefully placing bowls of food and water for the animals. The joy in his heart was palpable as he watched the strays begin to eat, their tails wagging and their eyes lighting up with gratitude. It was such a wonderful sight to see Tim making a difference in their lives.
Of course, while Tim was doing something admirable, it wasn't without its challenges. Not everyone was pleased with his actions. Some people in the neighborhood didn't appreciate the presence of stray animals and complained about the mess they made. One day, a grumpy old man came to Tim and angrily scolded him for feeding the strays. He even tried to scare them away, which made Tim very angry. It was infuriating to see someone ruin the good work Tim was trying to do. But despite the anger and the setbacks, Tim stood his ground and continued to care for the animals, determined to do what was right.
I couldn't help but feel anxious about Tim's safety throughout this endeavor. Every time he went to feed the animals, I worried about whether he would be safe, especially with the neighborhood's mixed reactions. There were concerns about whether the animals might become aggressive, or if Tim might face trouble from the local authorities or other people. The uncertainty of the situation was nerve-wracking. I constantly feared that something might go wrong, but Tim was always cautious and took necessary precautions to ensure his safety and the well-being of the animals.
I have to admit, the whole situation wasn't entirely pleasant. The park, where Tim had set up the feeding station, often became quite dirty. Leftover food and water created a mess, attracting not only stray animals but also other pests. The smell and the sight of the trash sometimes made me feel quite repulsed. It was tough to see the area become so unkempt. Despite Tim's good intentions, the reality of dealing with stray animals and the mess they brought was hard to handle. However, Tim never let this deter him and continued his efforts to care for the animals, showing that sometimes doing the right thing involves dealing with less pleasant aspects.
Well, friends, our adventure has come to an end. We hope you enjoyed the story about how Tim cared for stray animals. It was truly inspiring to see him showing kindness and care.
Yes, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you won't miss our upcoming videos. We have many more exciting stories and adventures ahead. Your subscription is really important to us.
Also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps us understand what interests you and motivates us to create even more engaging content.
We look forward to your comments. Let us know what you enjoyed about today's video or share your ideas for future stories. Your feedback is very important to us, and we always take your suggestions into account.
Thank you so much for your support and attention. Every like and comment makes our channel better and inspires us to achieve new things. We can't wait to see you in the next video.
Don't forget to click the bell icon to stay updated with all the new content on our channel. Stay with us and see you soon. Goodbye.
Hey everyone! You won't believe what's in store for us today. We're diving into an underwater adventure where we'll be escaping from the prison of SpongeBob. Yes, that's right. The fun and cheerful SpongeBob. But this time, he's somehow become the warden, and we need to break out of there fast. I'm so excited to see what challenges await us. The underwater world is full of so many unique and fascinating things. I'm sure there will be lots of fun moments to laugh at, and tricky puzzles that we'll need to solve together.
Ugh, I'm furious just thinking about how we got thrown into this Sponge's prison. How did this even happen? Seriously, I don't get how SpongeBob, with his constant smiling face, ended up being our jailer. But let me tell you one thing. I'm not just going to sit around and wait. If he thinks he can keep us locked up, he's got another thing coming. I'm ready for any fight, ready to tear this prison apart if I have to. We need to escape, and I'll do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Oh, I'm so worried. We don't even know what's waiting for us in there. What if this prison is full of traps? Maybe there are weird and dangerous creatures swimming around just waiting to attack us. I can't stop thinking about all the possible dangers. What if we get stuck? What if someone gets into trouble? I think we need to be extra careful, checking every step, every door. We have to be very cautious to make sure we get out of there safe and sound.
This situation is just disgusting. Seriously, a prison underwater? In a world where everything's damp and smells like fish? That's already horrible. And now the idea that SpongeBob is running the prison? I really hope the inside isn't as gross as I'm imagining. But let's get through this place as quickly as possible and be done with it. The last thing we need is to fall into some nasty trap, or even worse, stumble into something revolting.
It's strange. There should be water all around, but instead there's lava. Could this be some sort of trap, designed specifically to throw us off? What should we do next? We were expecting underwater currents and air bubbles, but instead, we're facing scorching fire and molten lava. We need to quickly come up with a plan to get out of here because this is nothing like what we were prepared for.
Look at this magma sphere. It looks incredibly hot. We need to be very careful not to end up underneath it, as its temperature could be so high that it might easily crush or even burn us.
Time for stories. Today's story will be about an incredible adventure Tim had with magical magnetic sneakers. Imagine finding a pair of sneakers that allow you to run on walls and ceilings. It's truly something extraordinary that can change the entire world of play and exploration. At first, Tim couldn't believe his eyes when he opened the box and saw these unusual sneakers. He immediately felt that they could bring him countless adventures and fun. Right now, you'll find out how these sneakers opened up a whole new perspective on the world for Tim.
Oh, those sneakers sound intriguing, but let's not forget about the potential risks. Imagine what could happen if something goes wrong. Tim could easily lose his balance and fall, especially if he's not careful. And what if the sneakers suddenly break or don't work as expected? We all know how easily things can go wrong when something doesn't work properly. So let's not overlook the possible dangers and make sure to be cautious.
Yes, it's very exciting, but you have no idea how worried I am for Tim. These sneakers might seem magical and safe, but what if something goes wrong? How will he handle it if he finds himself in a tricky situation? Perhaps these sneakers could lead to unexpected problems that Tim might not be able to solve. Just imagine if he can't control his movements and ends up in a dangerous situation. I just can't help but worry about him. I hope everything turns out well and he stays safe.
I see that the sneakers look quite appealing, but I'm not a fan of the idea that they could get dirty or stained. Those magnetic inserts could easily collect grime, and who knows how they'll look after a while. How will Tim deal with cleaning these sneakers if they get dirty? And what if they start to smell? Honestly, I'm not keen on wearing something that could quickly become filthy and untidy. I hope Tim considers this and isn't disappointed.
Despite all the worries, Tim was filled with excitement when he first tried on those sneakers. He started with simple steps and soon discovered that he could run on walls and ceilings as easily as never before. It felt like magic, and he couldn't be happier with his new possibilities. Just imagine how amazing it is to see the world from a completely different perspective, to open new horizons, and explore places that were previously out of reach. For Tim, it was a true adventure, and he was ready for anything to discover what other amazing things could happen.
Yes, I get that it could be fun, but let's not forget that even the most wonderful things can have their downsides. Tim needs to remember that safety is key, and he must be careful to avoid possible injuries and troubles. These sneakers could give him new opportunities, but they might also become a source of danger if he's not attentive. I hope he uses them wisely and doesn't end up in trouble.
I'm still worried about Tim, despite all his new opportunities. I hope he stays cautious and considers all possible risks. Every new adventure can be unpredictable, and he needs to be prepared for any difficulties that may arise. I wish him luck and hope that these sneakers bring him only positive experiences and exciting moments. Let's all support Tim and hope he handles all the challenges ahead.
Well, I think Tim will manage all the challenges, but I'm still a bit skeptical. It's important to remember that even the most thrilling adventures can have their inconveniences and issues. I hope these sneakers will be reliable and won't let Tim down, and that he won't encounter any dirt or unpleasant moments. In any case, I hope his adventure with the sneakers will be successful and bring a lot of joy, despite the potential difficulties.
So, friends, we hope you enjoyed this story about Tim's magical sneakers. We're sure he has many more exciting adventures ahead. Don't forget to keep an eye on our new videos and leave your comments. We'd love to hear about your impressions from this story and what adventures you'd like to see in the future. The next story will be about Tim and his special glasses that allow him to see past and future events. One day, Tim found a pair of antique glasses with magical abilities. They let him see events from the past and look into the future. You can't imagine the wonder of it all. When Tim first put on those glasses, he saw himself as a child and even witnessed key moments in his life. We experienced those exciting moments with him and shared in the joy of seeing how things had happened. The feeling of being able to go back and see how everything unfolded was absolutely amazing. With this discovery, Tim was on the brink of a world full of fascinating adventures.
However, with this great gift came its own set of challenges. Anxiety quickly took over as Tim began to see potential disasters and threats in the future. Imagine seeing something terrible about to happen and realizing you're the only one who can stop it. Tim was in a state of constant turmoil, as not all events could be easily changed. We were all anxious, fearing that his actions might lead to unintended consequences. Every step Tim took involved making crucial decisions to minimize risks and correct possible mistakes. These were real moments of anxiety where quick and thoughtful actions were essential.
And of course, problems arose along the way. Even though the glasses provided Tim with extraordinary vision, they didn't always work as he hoped. There were times when Tim had to deal with his own mistakes and their fallout. Anger grew when he realized that despite his best efforts, he sometimes made things worse. It was especially frustrating when every decision could impact the future. One mistake could lead to even more problems. I was angry that such a powerful ability could turn into a source of trouble and distress. We all saw how hard it was to manage this power and how crucial it was to be cautious.
And of course, we can't forget the less pleasant aspects. The glasses, though magical, often required careful maintenance. They would get dirty and covered in dust, which was quite disgusting. Tim had to clean them regularly to maintain a clear view. We even found unpleasant scenes and scary moments that Tim had to deal with. The grime and dust affected our perception, making things very uncomfortable. Tim often had to face things that elicited feelings of disgust from us. Despite all the challenges, he continued using the glasses, though it took a lot of effort.
But still, despite all the hardships, Tim managed to learn how to use the glasses wisely. He overcame the challenges and figured out how to solve the puzzles that helped him avoid potential disasters. These glasses brought joy and new discoveries into his life. We were happy to see him finding solutions to problems and helping those around him using his abilities. It was truly a unique opportunity that allowed him not just to see, but also to shape the future, making the world a bit better. And so ended the story of Tim and his magical glasses. It was a journey filled with joy, anxiety, anger, and disgust, teaching him to appreciate every moment and use his powers wisely. Well, that's it for today. If you enjoyed Tim's story with his special glasses, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. Your likes and comments make us happy and inspire us for new adventures. Thank you for being with us, and see you next time. Hello, friends! We're so happy you joined us today. We've got a lot of exciting stuff prepared for you, and we're sure you'll love it.
Yes, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures. Give us a like so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel and hit those likes. We're working hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yeah, and don't forget to leave a comment. It's important for us to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next.
Well, let's get started. Today, our boy Tim will be playing Roblox in the Escape Toby's Hospital mode.
Oh, a hospital. I hope it won't be too scary. I always get nervous in places like this.
A hospital, huh? Tim can handle anything that comes his way. Let's see how he gets out of this mess.
I hope it's clean there, and there won't be any dirty corridors or filthy instruments. So shall we begin?
Great! We found the key. Tim, let's hurry and open that door. We're almost out of here.
Oh no, the doctor is right behind us. Tim, please be careful and don't drop the key. We need to move quickly.
Run faster, Tim. That doctor won't catch us if you keep up the pace. We won't let him get to us.
I can hear his heavy breathing. Tim, get that door open now. I can't stand the thought of him getting any closer.
This is kind of fun, isn't it? Crawling through the vents feels like we're on a secret mission. Tim, you're doing great.
I don't know, Joy. It's so cramped in here, and we don't know what's ahead. What if there are traps or something worse?
Stop worrying, Anxiety. Tim can handle it. He's been through worse. Just keep moving forward and we'll be out of here in no time.
I hope this vent doesn't get any grosser. I can already feel the dust sticking to my skin. Ugh, this is so disgusting.
Hey, look. I think I see a way out just ahead. We'll be in a new room in no time. Stay positive, everyone.
Oh no, we're here. What's that smell? It's getting stronger. I have a bad feeling about this.
Great, what now? More obstacles? Tim, get ready. We can't afford to slow down.
Look at those pipes. Green slime is oozing out of them. This is a nightmare. Tim, you'll have to jump on those blocks to get across. Just don't touch the slime.
We have an incredible story for you about how Tim ended up on a thrilling treasure hunt on a mysterious island. It all started when Tim found an ancient map in an old library. The map marked the way to a legendary treasure hidden on the enigmatic island. Tim was absolutely thrilled at the idea of going on this adventure.
Oh, absolutely! But it wasn't just about finding the treasure. The island was full of traps and dangers. Tim faced off against nasty sea monsters and evil pirates. One of the toughest moments was when he had to cross a bridge made of creaky planks. Tim kept stumbling and falling into the water. It was definitely not an easy challenge.
I was so worried too. Tim was constantly in danger. In the dark depths of the cave where he was searching for the treasure, he couldn't find his way out. I was afraid he might get lost or fall into some trap, but he showed such determination and managed to find an ancient mechanism that revealed secret passages.
And those creepy caves. They were full of muck, mold, and horrifying spiders that made even me shudder. Tim kept stepping in sticky slime, and the horrid smell filled the cave. It was clear that it wasn't easy for him, but he kept going despite all the disgust.
And finally, after all the hardships, Tim found the treasure. It was hidden in an ancient chest, and when he opened it, fireworks of precious gems exploded into the air. Tim was on cloud 9, and we were all so happy that he had overcome all the obstacles and found the treasure.
Yes, and I must admit he showed incredible willpower. Even though I'm not thrilled that everything went so smoothly for him, he deserves praise for handling those horrible trials.
It was a tense journey, and I'm glad it ended well. Tim proved that even in the scariest situations, you can find a way out.
Yes, although it was frightening and disgusting, Tim managed to overcome all the challenges. And perhaps those unpleasant experiences made his adventure even more exciting.
In the end, Tim returned home full of new experiences and stories. And although the journey was tough, he proved that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle. I hope you enjoyed this story. Get ready for another exciting story about Tim's adventure in a fantastical realm. This time, Tim found himself in a magical land where he had to compete in a grand tournament to save the Enchanted Kingdom. The tournament had all kinds of incredible challenges, from dragon racing to wizard duels. Tim was beyond thrilled to prove himself in such a magical setting.
Oh, the tournament wasn't all rainbows and butterflies. Tim had to face off against some of the most ruthless competitors. There was a particularly nasty sorcerer who constantly tried to sabotage Tim's efforts. Tim was furious when his dragon was tampered with and almost lost the race. It was infuriating to see how low some people can go just to win.
I was on edge the whole time. The stakes were incredibly high, and one mistake could mean disaster. Tim had to navigate through a labyrinth filled with hidden traps and mystical beasts. There were moments when I feared he might get trapped or face a dangerous creature that could end his quest. Every turn seemed like it could be his last.
And the conditions in the labyrinth were just dreadful. The walls were covered in slimy moss, and the air was thick with a foul stench. Not to mention the creepy crawlies and the occasional burst of foul-smelling gas that made the whole experience just revolting. Tim had to wade through muck and fight off disgusting critters while trying to stay focused.
Despite all the challenges, Tim's perseverance paid off. He managed to navigate through the labyrinth, beat the sorcerer in the final duel, and win the grand prize, a magical artifact that could restore peace to the kingdom. Tim's excitement was through the roof when he realized he had saved the realm and achieved his goal.
It was satisfying to see Tim triumph over those who tried to bring him down. Even though it was a hard-fought victory, Tim showed that determination and courage can overcome even the nastiest obstacles.
I'm relieved that everything turned out well in the end. Tim's bravery and quick thinking saved the day. The tension was immense, but he handled it all with incredible skill.
As much as I hated the nasty conditions and the gross encounters, I have to give Tim credit for pushing through. His ability to endure the disgusting aspects of the quest and still come out on top was truly impressive.
And that's the story of Tim's magical tournament adventure. He proved once again that no matter how challenging or disgusting the situation, with determination and a positive spirit, you can achieve greatness. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Today, we're going to tell you an incredible story about how we, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust, used to be in the mind of a criminal. Yes, it's true. We were part of his mind and helped him turn his life around. It all started many years ago when this criminal was just beginning his path.
Yeah, it was something. We were all filled with rage and hatred, and honestly, it was quite an unpleasant time. This criminal was furious, and I was the main source of his anger. He constantly directed his rage at others, which of course led him to a lot of problems.
On the other hand, I was there to remind him of all the possible dangers and consequences of his actions. My anxiety and fear often spilled over to him, making his life even more stressful. I was always in his head, highlighting how risky and dangerous everything was.
I can't forget how I filled his mind with repulsive thoughts. He was full of disgust towards the world around him, and that didn't help his mood at all. He only saw the bad in everything, which just made things worse.
But everything changed one fine day. At some point, he started to realize that this life wasn't bringing him happiness. I began to remind him that joy and satisfaction could be found outside of this darkness. We started working together to guide him on the right path.
Yeah, I admit it wasn't easy. He had to deal with my anger and learn to control it, but in the end, he learned to use it for positive purposes. He began fighting for justice instead of spreading chaos.
I also helped him by showing that fear and anxiety could be used to avoid real threats and make thoughtful decisions. I taught him that sometimes dangers can be prevented by taking the right measures.
And I played my part too. I helped him see that disgust and aversion could be overcome, and that it's important to strive for cleanliness and order. He learned to appreciate the good things in life and stopped focusing on what disgusted him.
In the end, we all helped him change his life. Now he lives an honest life, helps others, and has found his place in society. We are proud that we were able to help him become the best version of himself.
Yes, I'm glad he realized that anger isn't the path to happiness. He learned to use his energy for something good.
And I'm happy that his fear and anxiety now help him avoid real dangers rather than creating them.
And I'm glad he was able to overcome his negative feelings and find joy in life.
So, friends, that's the story. Even the darkest and most negative thoughts can be transformed into something good. It's never too late to change your life for the better. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our story.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Remember, even when things get tough, you've got the power to make a change.
And if you ever feel overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and think things through. You've got this.
Don't forget to keep things clean and stay true to yourself. It's the little things that make a big difference.
Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed our time together. Your support really helps.
Goodbye for now. Remember, keep striving for the best.
Bye, everyone.